Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to talk about the new Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. The first impressions are in for the game and it seems to be revealing a lot of cool different things, what it's like, what games are like it, how it runs, what's in it, just all the great stuff you want to know if you're interested in Donkey Kong Bonanza. And if you are interested in the game and do want to continue to know more about the game, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because I will be covering more on this news, including the review whenever I can get a Nintendo Switch 2. I am in the US, unfortunately, so we'll see whenever I'm able to acquire one. With that being said, let's get to the first impressions. So this is from Nintendo Life, and they say, apart from Mario Kart World for Switch 2, Nintendo has also announced Donkey Kong Bonanza is on its way on the new system. The game is released a month after the Nintendo Switch 2 launch, and although it's still a little away, or still a while away, we've got our first impressions. As you might have seen, we've already shared our hands on here on Nintendo Life, and thought it's shaping up to be a great stress reliever after a long day. Which already, that's a fantastic thing about the game. It seems like the game is already going to be great just on their impressions, so that's really great to hear. Especially since we haven't had a Donkey Kong game in quite some time, so like if people started coming out and saying, it's kind of okay, I would be really disappointed. And what we've got to play around with was a solid and delightfully stress-relieving bolt of silliness that we desperately need right now. We're hoping that there are some more jungly levels out in the wilderness, but this could well be DK's breakout game, and he more than deserves it. So that's actually kind of interesting, the fact that they're calling it a breakout game. So what it sounds like is this is gonna be the level of like Super Mario Odyssey, like it's gonna be Donkey Kong Super Mario Odyssey. Now, if you guys remember, there were rumors that the Super Mario Odyssey devs were going to be working on a Donkey Kong game. Now, we don't know who's making this just yet. Nintendo is hiding that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were them. Moving on to the next one, this is from Books.net. They say, Rareware's Donkey Kong has served us well, but along with the design change, we've also got a new Donkey Kong game that feels like something entirely fresh. The game itself looks amazing, from the wonderfully furry Donkey Kong to the environment, which feels like a mix of Super Mario Odyssey and Astro Bot. The one world we got to play is After the Mine was massive. The in-game map felt more like a chunk of Breath of the Wild map than a world from Odyssey. So that's extremely interesting. It seems like they mixed some of the best games on the Nintendo Switch, Super Mario Odyssey, and of course on PlayStation 2 with Astro Bot, that won Game of the Year, and a lot of people found it fantastic. But the fact that they're mentioning Breath of the Wild is very interesting when it comes to the map, because I myself do love the map of Breath of the Wild, and of course Tears of the Kingdom as well. I mean, you interact with basically the same map. I guess it depends on where on the map you are, but you interact with it in different ways in the game, but I do love the map itself. So it's really fantastic to hear that it does have some of that Breath of the Wild flavor when it comes to the map of at least the world that they were on. Now, this is what Nintendo World Report had to say on the game. Although the entire adventure takes place underground, our demo level was a bright floating island with loads to explore. My rep showed me multiple paths to get to the end of the demo, each with different collectibles. The map reflects DK's destruction through the level, so it's easy to remember where he's been. So that's actually pretty interesting. I didn't even think about that when watching the gameplay. Apparently there's going to be a map on your screen that tracks where you've destructed things. I don't know why I said it like that. Destroyed things, I mean. That was one thing that I was kind of a little iffy about when I saw that in the gameplay. It was a specific shot where DK was destroying things and the camera looked like you wouldn't know exactly where you are because it was so zoomed in. So it's good that you do have that map so you can navigate while you're destroying things. That's very good. But anyways, this is what Eurogamer had to say on their gameplay experience. While there are some limitations to the game's destruction, there's a layer of permanent bedrock at the base of each level. It seems I was still surprised with how breakable areas could be, and it's a joy to break them. DK's fist causing an eruption of shiny rocks, pebbles, and ores as he pummels through the walls. Reminiscent of the mindless but mesmerizing tumble of Lego bricks that scatter out when destroying the scenery in TT game titles. So I think that was kind of a given that there was going to be some kind of limit to the destruction, but it seems that there's going to be like a layer of wall, kind of like how if you were to go on like an open world game, especially the older open world games, there's just that layer of wall that you can't pass. Consider that, but like at the bottom of a level, which I kind of expected that. I don't think they're going to have infinite things to break. That would actually be pretty insane if they did. With that being said, this is what the next one says. This is from Go Nintendo. I'll start out by saying that there are more connective tissues to past Donkey Kong games than you think. For one thing, you'll still be able to collect those iconic red balloons, which act as lifelines in case you fall off a cliff. Mine carts and barrel blasts are also returning. Plus, we know that Cranky Kong will be making an appearance. Presumably, more familiar Kongs will follow. Outside of those little nods, I will admit that my experience with the game definitely fell outside the norm for the series, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So that's what I was wondering with that first quote that we covered earlier in this video, is there still going to be familiar stuff that we are familiar with when it comes to Donkey Kong games? Because when you look at this, even if you compare it to Donkey Kong 64, this is still pretty different to any Donkey Kong game we've had before, and that in and of itself is a pretty big risk when you're coming to just big IPs, is changing it so much. Think of games like God of War. That is very, very different compared to the ones that were on the PS3. And that did sort of split the fan base, and I feel like that's probably going to happen here. I think some people are going to enjoy the older Donkey Kong games, like Tropical Freeze. Tropical Freeze was highly rated, and everyone loves that game. And some people may have preferred a Tropical Freeze-esque game instead of this, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And this is the last one from The Verge. From the short demo I played, Donkey Kong Bonanza feels like a better Kongified version of Super Mario Odyssey. The same gameplay beats are there. You gotta use your platforming skills to collect a bunch of special jiggies, with some minor tweaks and additions to destructible environments to keep the gameplay loop fresh. I took a survey of the press at the event, and everyone said Donkey Kong was the best game there. So that's actually pretty interesting, because there are games like Metroid Prime 4 there. There's also games like Mario Kart World there as well. So the fact that Donkey Kong is the best game there is very, very good news, because we know that a lot of people are also enjoying those games as well. So this kind of does make me more interested in the actual game, especially since it's so much different than past Donkey Kong games. Now we do have also some other stuff for Donkey Kong Bonanza. So if you guys remember, it was about, I think, a couple days ago, there were some things going around from young Pauline spotted on some art. Now in the trailer, you remember that little rock that was going around with Donkey Kong? Well, if you look at her bracelet, it's the same type of rock. So this is what Nintendo Life has to say. Did Donkey Kong Bonanza key art accidentally leak a big surprise? Now I think the reason why they're saying accidentally leaked a big surprise is that in the gameplay feature, I don't think you see Pauline ever. You do see the little rock monster, but you don't see Pauline. So this is what they said. Some key art for the upcoming Switch 2 game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, might have accidentally leaked ahead of schedule on Nintendo's Korean website. Man, the Korean website, you guys gotta get your you guys gotta get it together. Everything's leaking out from this website. But anyways, on Nintendo's Korean website, now removed art featuring Donkey Kong, and spoiler, what supposedly looks like a young Pauline has been spotted. It seems we've also got a full art reveal. The discovery follows Nintendo sharing the same graphic with this character in it in other parts of the world. And that graphic will be on your screen right now. So that's actually been pretty interesting. It really makes me wonder what exactly is going on with this. Does this bracelet somehow make her transform into this monster? Or is the bracelet just the monster and Pauline goes missing or something? You can see in this screenshot right here, it says the Odd Rock has decided to join you. So personally, I don't think that's Pauline. I think that's just the actual bracelet on her that transformed into that rock, and maybe Pauline ends up getting, I don't know, kidnapped or something. She's essentially Princess Peach. You know what I mean? Pauline is in another castle. I have a feeling that's exactly what it's gonna be. Because why would it have the Odd Rock has decided to join you if that was Pauline? You would assume Donkey Kong would already know that's Pauline, and the game would notify you that that's Pauline, right? So more than likely something happens to Pauline, the rock bracelet, I don't know, somehow transforms into that little monster, it gets left behind, and that is gonna be your way to find Pauline and rescue her. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And on your quest, you come along different Donkey Kong family members, which that's why Cranky Kong's there. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Do you think my theory is right, or do you think that that rock is actually Pauline? And of course, tell me your thoughts on the reviews, and are you excited for the game? Does this get you more excited, less excited, and overall, just your thoughts on all the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff that's happening. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.